Hey guys, I'm just on my way home from work right now, and just thought I'd drop in and share a little bit more lighter stuff about myself, and just a few questions that's been asked of me and stuff like that. Clear the air on a few things. First of all, my name is Billy, as I mentioned in my very first post, and I am happily married to my beautiful wife, which we will leave uh, anonymous, and I have three beautiful boys, six months, 3 years, and 7 years. And when me and my wife decided to get married almost a decade ago, um, and we brought our finances together, we found that combined we had more than $40,000 worth of credit card debt and other debts as well. And I'd had some hardships and made a lot of stupid decisions with money growing up, including um, putting cars on credit cards. Yeah, I had a bit of a driving problem when I was younger, and I couldn't seem to stay away from wrecks, and so I had moments where I had to go out and buy cars, and I didn't have any cash, so I went and put entire cars on credit cards, and I didn't have good credit, so those credit cards came with like 24, 20, mid 20 interest rates on them, and I paid on them for years. So I paid the stupid tax over and over and over again in my younger life. And when me and my wife decided we was going to get married, I decided I wasn't going to allow those chains to ruin my marriage and my family life. I learned in those couple weeks leading up to proposing to my wife that the one of the leading factors of divorce is finances. And I thought to myself, what a stupid thing to allow to ruin your marriage. Something that can be avoided with a little bit of intentionality can avoid one of the largest reasons why people get divorced to begin with. And I said, you know what? If we're going to get married, we've got to have a plan. And so me and my wife came together and we decided at that moment, before we even got married, we decided that we was going to get a plan together. Now, we wasn't out of debt by the time we got married, but we decided that we had to get a plan. We had to have a plan to get out of debt. Talking about it was in the past. It was time to actually do it. We had to have a plan. And so we got one together. Um, I'll be the first to tell you that the first thing I did is I went and bought Dave Ramsey's book, The Total Money Makeover. And I would lie if I told you it did anything less than change my life and my financial life. And it changed our family life. And so we started the journey of getting out of debt. And it took 4 years, 3.5, 4 years. But we cleared out $40,000 worth of debt, making less than $100,000 a year, a lot less than $100,000 a year. Um, and in that process, like year two or year one even, I was laid off and was out of work for 11 months. Uh, my wife became pregnant with our first son. We had a lot of life happen during that time, and we were still able to do it. We were still able to get through $40,000 worth of debt in between 3 and 4 years, and we have never looked back. Um, Once we got out of debt, we quickly started saving an emergency fund because we wasn't going to go back to credit cards. We decided we was not going to borrow money unnecessarily ever again. And so we started saving money for an emergency fund. We was going to be our own credit card. If we needed money, we'd borrow from ourselves. And so we have an emergency fund established now for emergencies. And if we ever have to borrow from it, much like you pay back a credit card, now we pay back our emergency fund. The beautiful part about that is that the credit card company, they're going to charge that interest rate. Well, guess what? My emergency fund doesn't. So we use it to borrow money from. And the next step we made was we paid off our cars. I know it's kind of weird, but there's nothing in your financial life that will lead you to prosperity quicker than not having a car payment. People think this is the weirdest thing there is to man, but not having a car payment We're going to have to talk later about the significance of the opportunity cost that is lost by having a car payment. It's enormous. But anyways, so now we don't have car payments. We buy cars with cash. Literally the only thing left on the shelf for us and our family is our mortgage. And I won't beat anybody up about having a mortgage, of course, mainly because I have one. But the bigger point is that at least it's an investment that at minimum generally doesn't go down in value. It's like a forced savings plan. And so a mortgage isn't all that bad. It's better if you have it on a 15-year mortgage. That way you pay less interest and you pay down more of the principal. But anyways, that's uh, the less debt that we have. So with all that said, now that we've found the financial freedom that we've been looking for and been experiencing, we've been debt free except for our house for probably 6 or 7 years now. 6 years. I have been working towards a dream that God's put in me and I've acknowledged for the last 5 years maybe, of helping other families achieve the financial freedom that me and my family have been able to enjoy. The peace that comes with finances when you don't have to worry about your next paycheck. Living paycheck to paycheck is hard. I know. I've done it for 25 years or more. Who am I fooling? I've only been earning a paycheck for about 20 years period. So, but anyways, uh, I've lived paycheck to paycheck. I've lived paycheck to paycheck just to send out money to pay other people that I owe money to. I know what it feels like. I've been down that road. And I don't ever want to be down that road again. And I want to help deliver others from it. Uh, it's a very dark place. And it's a very hopeless place. Um, and in the society that we live in today, it's very easy to get sucked into that. It's very easy to get sucked into that negativity and that hopelessness and to think that there's not a way out. But there's a way out. There is a way out. And it is the road less traveled, but it is a way out. It's hard work. Now, it's not complicated. Let me be clear about that. Getting out of debt is not complicated, but it is hard. What I mean by that is it's simply a matter of dollars and cents. Spend less than you make. If you can understand that concept, I have just gotten you out of debt. Spend less than you make. Not complicated, right? It's not complicated. But when you've lived your whole life by the lies that we have to uh, live off of credit, we have to have a car payment, we have to have a credit card for emergencies. Baloney. You don't need a credit card for emergencies. You can put back your own money for emergencies. These are the lies we've been fed, and there's many more. Um, and we get sucked into this hopelessness that our society feeds us. That these are just a way of life, and there's nothing to do to change them. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's not complicated, but it's hard. But I want to help other families uh, find their way out of the chains that debt put us all in. I want to see I want to see families through it. I'm willing to be here for any family on any level in regards to helping them get out of any type of debt. I want to advise people as best I can. I've been fortunate enough that people in my life have reached out to me for financial advice, and it gives me no greater pleasure to see somebody through a financial hardship. So, so that's just a little about me. I got a little bit heavier than I expected it to. I'm just kind of speaking off the brain. Um, but on some lighter notes, some people have asked me, why do you do your blog while you're driving? Well, that's a good question. And um, the honest answer to that question is because it's the only free time I have. I'm a married man with 3 boys. Two high energy boys and a 6-month old. He's coming up, so he'll be next. But honestly, on my way to and from work and on lunch breaks is really the only time I have. And, I used to write, but I'm not a good writer. I'll be honest. I'm really not a good writer. And, it's something I can get better at, of course. But it took way too long, and I wasn't able to get out enough content in order to keep uh, in order to keep I wanted to continue to bring out content. I had a lot on the mind, but I couldn't get on paper fast enough, and I didn't have time to do it again because all I got a time for, only time I have is in the car. Can't do a lot of writing while you're driving. So I let it go for a year or so because I did do some writing. About a year ago, I had a website, this same website, thefrugallocker.com, and I was doing some writing, but I couldn't keep up with it. Life got crazy, and my time got crunched, and I just stopped. And that was the beginning of a dream for me, and I let it go. And here recently, I've read a couple inspirational books that really got me to thinking about my dreams, and that if they're your dreams, you got to just make them happen. Okay, so what am I working with? I'm working with a couple of hours of my commutes to and from work, including my lunch breaks. That's what I have to work with. How can I make it happen in the time that I have? This was the answer to that problem. So video blogging is the way it's going to be for me. And yes, it will be while I'm driving. Just look at it this way. Look, hands free, not holding it, not holding the phone. Okay, I'm just talking. So it's like me talking to my wife, except you all probably listen more than she does. But anyways, so that's why I'm doing it in the car. Another question that I've gotten is, where have I learned all the stuff that I'm talking about? Where did I go to school? Well, the quick answer to that question is in regards to finance, I didn't go to school. I've got a high school diploma. I've got some college. I actually went to school for computer information systems. Came up a couple credit hours short because I couldn't pass history. That's the truth there. My entire education has come from experience and lots of reading, which led to even more experience. And so my experience and my book knowledge is where everything that you will hear on this video blog has come from. So that's my education. Let's see, what else? I guess that's about it for today. I've already ran, 13 minutes? Okay, yeah, I think we need to cut this short. Maybe I can leave some of this for tomorrow. But anyways, just a little about me and my family and my situation, and little about the creation of this video blog. If y'all have any questions or comments, please leave them. If you have an opportunity, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's The Frugal Locker. I'm going to get a link and leave it here. I'm working on finding ways to make it easier for you guys to subscribe and to access my material. So bear with me. This is all a learning curve for me. I'm digging in, but it's going to take some time because, again, I don't have a lot of it. So thanks again, and talk to you guys again soon. Bye.